Hi guys, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up. So April for me was another slow reading month, although quite a few of these books that I read were quite chunky, so they did take up quite a lot of my time. And I was so close to finishing one more in this month, but that one will just have to tick over into May and I will talk about that one then. So in April I read 5 books and this was a total of 2,454 pages. 2 of these were 5 stars, I had 2 4 stars and I had 1 2.5 star rating. In terms of genres, 4 of them were fantasies and 1 of them was a romance. So yeah, this is going to be quite a short wrap up because not only is there only 5 books to talk about, but 3 of them are from the same series, and because they're books in a series I'll give a general overall synopsis and then there's not much more I can say for those books because of spoilers. But anyway, let's get started. So the first book I finished in April was Dead or Alive by Landy. This is the 14th book in the Skulduggery Pleasant series and this is the series that I mentioned. So in this series we follow Valkyrie Kane and Skulduggery Pleasant alongside other characters such as Omen Darkly as they save the world from various evil threats and villains. This one is an urban fantasy young adult series full of magic and mystery, and it's fast paced and Landy's humour is incredible. In this one we got to see elements of time travel which was very interesting, and yeah, really enjoyed that. Seeing characters from the future, that was really interesting. Can't say much more because it would just be pure spoilers, but this one was really great and I gave it 5 stars. Then in April I also read Until the End, also by Landy. This is the 15th book in the Skulduggery Pleasant series and at the moment it is the final book in the series. I think there are going to be more coming out but I have no idea when this is, so for now this is the final instalment and I have actually ticked a series off my list, which was great. Again, I can't say too much more about this one, but I was really satisfied with the ending in this one. There were some massive reveals in this one that just completely blew my mind. Can't say much more, but yeah, I was really happy with this one in the end. I was really nervous because it was the final book in the series. I was like, oh, am I gonna hate it? Am I just gonna be destroyed? Because Landy is one for just killing off characters as and when he feels like it. But no, I was really happy with this one. It was really good. I did not want to put it down. I think I read this one in about 3 sit-ins, and for the size of it, yeah, I got through it really quickly. And yeah, of course I also gave this one 5 stars. Next I read Skulduggery Pleasant the Grimoire. So this isn't a main installment in the series, it's almost like a novella, but it's more like a set of short stories. So in this book we follow the archivists and their job is to recount the like what goes on in all the previous books. So they follow Skulduggery and Valkyrie as they go on all the adventures that we saw in the series. Alongside this we also have extra comic strips and art pieces, and what was my favourite part about this book is that the Skulduggery and Valkyrie would read this and then make additional extra comments and have conversations about things that previously happened. So that was really interesting. I gave this one 4 stars. I loved the artwork and it was so nice to go back over some of my favourite moments. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't just reread the whole series over the past year or so. Because the bits that did recap over the previous plots were just quite repetitive because they were still quite fresh in my mind. So this one actually would be great for when the new books come out, because I can read this one to recap without reading the whole series, and then I think I would enjoy it that little bit more. Also kind of short story, and if that's even a word, short story. I don't get on too well with short stories, the ones I've read. There's always like some areas that I love, some that I hate, and they end up being sort of middle-ish, and yeah. So this one was great, just nowhere near as good as the main series, and so it got 4 stars. The next book I finished in April was an ebook, and this was Wrong by Jana Aston. Unfortunately, I was very disappointed with this book and I gave it 2.5 stars. But yeah, this one is a new adult romance, and we follow Sophie, who whilst at, I think it's the American version of university, keep forgetting that, she works in this coffee shop, and she has this crush on a guy that comes into her shop almost every morning to buy his coffee. And it turns out that he's her gynecologist, so there's that tension there. And yeah, it really sets off from there. The first 30-40% I'd say was 5-star material, so that's why it was so disappointing for me. The tension between the two characters at the start, I've forgotten the love interest name, was incredible. Like, you could feel the tension between them, and it was, yeah, you just wanted them to get together and root for them. So that was really great. Sophie's best friend, I've also forgot her name, was really great, and the interactions between those two were hilarious, and there were quite a few moments that just made me laugh out loud, which was incredible. But then we got on to like the middle section, and that's where it went downhill for me. As soon as the main characters slept together, that's when it got really boring, which is, you know, not usually how it goes. But yeah, as soon as they slept together, that tension and the interest just dropped for me. There seemed to be no chemistry anymore once it had happened, and also past then we focused less on them and their characters and more on like family drama and ex drama, and it just got really boring. So yeah, that's why I'm very disappointed with this one, because the start was so strong and I honestly thought this one was going to be a 5-star read, and for a contemporary romance, for me who mainly reads fantasy and fantasy romance, that would have been amazing. But yeah, unfortunately it went downhill from the middle onwards. But yeah, I think I would read from Jana Aston again, because I liked her writing, and I loved how much she was able to make me laugh with certain scenes and stuff. It was kind of rom-commy in places. I just don't think this one was for me, so I think I want to try more from her in the future, but not anytime soon. If one of her plots interest me, then I will give it a go, because like I said, I had fun for most of the start. So yeah, unfortunately a bit of a let. And the last book I finished in April was the School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. So in this book we follow Agatha and Sophie as they are whisked away to the School for Good and Evil, where Sophie, our blonde princessy type character, is enrolled in the School for Evil, and Agatha, her best friend, is enrolled in the School for Good, and this obviously caused some conflict between the girls, with Agatha just wanting to go home and Sophie wanting nothing more than to enroll in the School for Good so she can eventually find her prince and have her happily ever after. So yeah, we follow these girls at their new schools, how they settle down, go into the different classes, and they have to take part in a series of challenges, and following them as they make friends or enemies. So I really liked this book. It was really interesting, and I loved the like fairy tale vibes that were present throughout. Yeah, most of the kids at the school eventually go on to become fairy tale characters in books we know. So like, I know Rapunzel, I think Jack in the Beanstalk was mentioned, but I was also surprised at how dark this got in places. I don't quite know if this is a middle grade or YA, it might be on the borderline. But yeah, this got really dark in places, and almost kind of like reminded me more of the Grimm fairy tales, like the originals, which were really good. But yeah, just some of the things that happened with children turning into objects and stuff if they didn't like succeed in their classes and stuff, and that was, I know, especially dark. And there were some twists and turns that I can't mention throughout this book that did surprise me. Yeah, and of course the ending just was a massive cliffhanger, so I will definitely be trying to pick up book 2 in May. So yeah, those were all the books that I read in April. Like I said, short and sweet. I just finished up my favourite series for the most part, and read a couple more when I can. Like I said, I was so close to finishing Vengeful this month by V. Schwab, but that one will just have to be in my next wrap up. So yeah, that's it. Let me know down below if you happen to have read any of these. I know they're a bit of a mix, but you never know. But that's it for now, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!